This conference will now be recorded.
all sessions are uploaded in the YouTube channel. You know, right? The channel name, everything. So you can go through that and you just update yourself. And also, I am also planning to upload this lengthy sessions were there, this 1.5 2 hour sessions. And now I am doing some, just a 1 hour session in the evening for US people. I am also going to upload that so that that might be easy for you to go through each session so that the length is little less compared to our weekends. But anyhow, the quality and content doesn't change. The depth is same everywhere because we have done at most the programming and the implementation in our sessions. Okay. Now we are talking about different types of variables. Now Python has different types of variables. What is that? It has global variables. It has instance variables. It has class variables. Okay, and local variables. These are the four different types of variables in Python. In most of these languages, C has global, that is fine. C++ also have global concept, whereas Java and C# doesn't have global. Even Scala doesn't have global concept. Okay, so here we are talking about different types of variables. All types of variables what we have in Python here. One is global variables. That is one thing. Second one, instance variables. Okay, third one, class variables are, you can say that class variables are static variables. And fourth one, local variables. I hope you know most of this. What is global, what is instance, what is local, or what is class. Class I didn't discuss. But other than class, I think most of you know this. The all the different types of variables, right? Global means they are accessible everywhere with by any function and by anything which is declared directly outside functions. Okay, the scope of global means they are declared outside. Now, if you look at a small example, we'll take this example. This is an easy. We'll take this will demonstrate everything. All the four different types of variables are global, local, and as well as instance and static are class variables. Okay, we'll talk about all that different types. The small example explains about all that. Now, I'll do one thing. Now, if you look at this program, you are declaring a variable inside class, outside method. This variable is a class variable. This is a class variable. And usually class variables are directly accessible through class name. We don't need to create object. I told you in the last class, if it is instance variable, we should call instance variables only by creating object. We cannot access them directly. So, and that too, instance members, either method or variable, they have to be declared with keyword self. Self dot, or if you pass a self parameter with a method, such methods are such variables. We call them as instance members. You got it right? So here, this is a class variable which is in the scope of class, inside class, outside method. Such variables are class variables. This is outside class. So we call this as global, you know very well. And this variable, which is inside method, but it doesn't have any modifier with that like self or something. So this is a local. Okay. Now, let us test this example. Suppose I am printing a here. Which variable is printed? Self.a which is printed, a.a which is printed, globals of a which is printed. So let's quickly test all this one by one, point by point. Okay, that gives you a quick idea about all the four different types of variables what we have in Python. Hope you are ready, right? Let me just take this As this method is a instance method, we should create an object and call that. I taught you this somewhere in the last session. If a method is instance, you can call it only by creating an object. We cannot call it directly. Such methods only has to be called by creating an object. And we know the syntax. The syntax look like this. Also, we had a very detailed analysis about program structure in Scala, sorry, in Python. We had discussed about the object, how variables exist inside object and what we call them, and how variables are assigned to object, when they were assigned to object, or when they were created inside object. All that we have discussed in the previous session. We had done a bit of postmortem, what we call technically. Okay, now you can test this code, all of you, and still if you have issues you can always ask me. I'm just opening the idle. Okay, idle is ready. File here. I'm just saving it as I'm just saving it drive directly here itself. Okay, something like OP. Okay, now you can test this code here. You can test it here. Okay, so suppose you can first do point by point. I'll talk about class variables again. Well, let us discuss about the only variables which we know so far. So what do we know? We know about global variables, we know about instance variables, we know about class, local variables. So this is global. You can just comment it like saying that this is global, but this is completely outside class. It's not inside, it's outside class. So this is accessible by any function in Python. Okay, we don't have any restriction for this. Okay, that is one thing. Next one. Here, right, self dot. This is instance. I told you this very clearly. Any instance variable is always declared with keyword self. I think this is clear for all of you, right? So this is a instance variable. This is local. Why local? Usually local variables are declared inside a method. Okay. You remove this for now because I don't have any class. But I'll explain that topic clearly first so that it will be more. It will be easy for you to understand that. This is an instance method, so I am creating an object first, then I am calling that. We know very well, right? If a method is instance, you can call it only by creating an object. Or if a variable is instance, you can call that variable only by creating an object and calling the method in which it is declared. You got it right? So go to the run module. You got it right? Can you see this now? So now suppose I have global here, I have local here, and I am printing A here. What is printed here at this point? Is it 40 or is it 10? Which value gets printed? The local or the global? If it is instance, we have to always call it as self.a. Instance members has to be called with self, no doubt. So here A is called, means it might be a local or it might be a global. But now the question is, which global is it? Sorry, which A it is? Is it the local one or the global one? Answer. Can anybody answer this question?
Local one, I think, Manohar.
Yeah, correct. It should be a local one. Okay, fine. That's fine. You get 40 here. What about this? Which value get printed?
Instance variable 30 equal to.
Okay, that's it. Perfect. What about this one? This is, we can also call globals. If you want to call global variable of a class inside a method, then we can apply this method called globals of, this is like, applying an index here. It's more or less calling an index. Got it right? It's more or like trying to declare an index here, and you can pass the variable name here. So we can also invoke a global variable even like this. That's also possible. Okay. And this is object, and we call this method is instance. So we call this on that reference. We know all this stuff. Okay. So let's see. And this is 40. We should get 40 here. We should get 30 here, and we should get 10 here. So, and finally here, this will always print the global one, because once we come out of class, this scope is a global scope. Other than the statements what you declare inside class and the statements you declare inside method, if you have anything else, any variable outside, such variables are global variables. Okay. So now I'll just run for one more time just to check the result. What would be the result? So it's 10, 40, 30, 10. Do you think is there any issue with the output? 10 instance, it's coming from here. Then object is created. Then F1 is created, so that it's giving you the right output. Okay, don't think that you are getting anything wrong. Okay, so here if you look at it, it's giving the right output. The method, see, this all these values are printed only when you call the method. Might be if you look, when you look at it, they might be declared before this one, but the execution happens only when you call this method. Some people might get confused here. You got it right? So you test it, sir. After this, I'll talk about the concept of class variables. What are class variables? How to declare? What is the scope? And we'll just discuss that, and then switch to the next topic. Okay. Test it now, all of you. There are a few things I have done. Maybe if you want, we can discuss that. Creating multiple objects, parameter passing. Okay. And few other things we can do here. And static means that class variable concept. Okay. And then static methods, and then class methods, and that will, and then constructors that will complete the first level of classes and objects, because so with that the conceptual understanding of classes and objects will end here. Then we will switch to the next concepts of your OOP, like inheritance, polymorphism, all that. Abstraction, anyhow, we'll discuss that. Okay, you can test this now. Test the code here. Okay, test this code once and see the output there. Once you are tested, just confirm. Then I'll move to the Okay, shall we continue? Okay, I'm going to the next topic, that is what is the topic here is let's test it. Creating multiple objects for a class. Suppose you know, right, this one, when you have a class like this, if you declare a class like this, for one class we can create any number of objects. So means it's not like we just declare only one object. For one class we can declare n number of objects. Okay, and you know, another important point is every object has its own values. Suppose if you assign three values like this, okay, so then these three values might be same in A1, A2, A3, but values might be same. But the point is, values of A1 are different from A2 and A3, even though they are same. Values of A1 belong to this object, person. This only one object, this first object. Values of A2 belong to second. Values of A3 belongs to this. So another important point here, as we have directly initialized them, okay, all the objects might have same values, but usually in a real scenario, every object has, you know, different data. Data in sense variables will be same, but the values might be different. Do you understand that? So this is also one more important point in object oriented programming, that the purpose of object is that it is used to hold data. Every object holds one record, one person details. It's like one row in a table. You know, if you have idea about RDBMS, most of us know that one object is equal to one record in a table. 10 objects equal to 10 records in a table. You know, right? In an RDBMS, every record will be unique. At least that primary key, that employee number or something will be unique. So that's what the concept of OOP is. If you think that class is like a table, okay, and the variables are like no attributes in a table, and then the objects are like rows, means physical data. And you know, right, how data is stored? Object holds data. If you create 10 objects, you have 10 records of person, 10 different person details. In that, some person details might be same, because I am Manohar, some other Manohar might be there, or there is Madhu, another Madhu might be there, or Srikanth, another Srikanth might be there. Got it, right? Like that. So, but every object holds one person details. Just to get a quick idea of that, I am just talking about it. Okay, you can test it, because we have discussed this example in the last class. Just you test it and see how different objects has how multiple objects are created, and how, and just observe like how each object has one record there. Or I will just explain quickly to all of you. First, you test this code, then we'll talk about how data is stored in object. What is the exact perfect no, purpose of object? Now, many people don't know. They blindly create objects. They don't know exact purpose of object, but they will be working on this OOP. Okay, let's have a better understanding. Before I move to the next topic, and then we do parameter passing with the classes, and then we understand like how it is really helpful to us. We'll talk about that as well. Okay, so you test this code, sir. Now, if you see, maybe if you want to input from keyboard, you know, right, you can use input function. You can give, for each object, you can provide different values, because it will dynamically ask you to enter data every time one object is created, or every time you call this init method. Okay, might be it's up to you whether to input from keyboard or whether to go for static initialization. It's up to you. Okay, okay, but you can test it, sir. You can test it. We have done this object and class program in the last session itself. Okay, we know clearly like how to declare instance variables and methods and how to create objects, all that. Okay, are you ready? Let me just show you like quick example here. Class something like you can take any example. It's not like you should take only person. Class card, then def set data. I'm taking three variables for this. This is an instance method. I declare it as self. Self dot name equal to as this data is in as it is a string type. I'll directly say input of enter name. Next one self dot car name car color. Okay, even this is also a string, so I can directly initialize it with the input function, because by default input will accept a string type in in this 3 point text, right? Next one, car color, car price. Enough, three are enough. So I will apply casting to float, because the price I want it to be float. So enter price. Okay, now that's it. This is to input data, and one more method to display that data. And even this has to be instance. Then print off the name is okay, common name. The color is, you can print color, and then also you can print price. And the last one is price. Okay. Now you create couple of objects, 2 or 3 objects, just to test like the how objects store data. So something like C1 equal to, or something like car1 equal to car. Okay. You can create 3 objects. Like at this stage, we have 3 empty objects. I got this somewhere in the last session as well. Correct? So when you look at it, how many objects exist here now? We have 3 objects. Looking for some. Okay, leave it, no issue. So I'll just show you in the paint quickly. It's something like this at this stage. I have 3 objects. Object 1, object 2, object 3. All the 3 objects has same variables. That doesn't change. So these are same here. It has name, color, and price. Name, color, and price. It might have some address. Each object has some address. So we have here name, color, and then same thing for other objects as well. Name, color, price. Okay. Okay, I got it. No issue. Sometimes it happens. Color, price. Okay. Similarly, you can have 3 more here, 3 more here. Okay. Got it right? And every object has address. I taught you somewhere in the last session. So this is car 1. You can assume this as car 2. Okay. And this is car 3. Okay. Now every object has some address like 100, 101. And this one, just give it as 102. Just for I'm assuming it's not exact address, just an idea. Even here also you have 3 more, name, color, and price. Here also you have name, color, and price. All the objects has same instance variables, but the values might be different. The instance variables of one no, right? Can you hear that voice of the dog, right? Something had happened to that. So fine, not my dog. There is an open forest kind of place beside my house. So now the point is, which I am about to tell is even though these variable names are same for each object, but every object has its own instance variables. The instance variables of one object is different from another object. Remember that. Don't think if the names are same, it doesn't mean that they are same. They belongs to this one. Similarly, here also name and then color and then price. Okay. Now this 100 is assigned to car here, this one, and this is assigned to car 2, car 1. This is 101 is assigned to car 2, 102 is assigned to car 3. Assume that these are the references. This is how it look like in memory. Okay, 101 and 102. Now you know these are empty objects so far. Sorry, I think this is what is this? This is Python, right? Sorry guys. For now, you don't have any of these variables. Okay, you don't have variables for now. Just empty object is created in Python. Once the object statement is executed, we just have just an empty object. Okay, got it right? Sorry, in all other languages this works, but not in Python. Okay, now after that means when these objects are created, what happens, sir? Just 3 objects are created. That's all. Nothing will be there inside that. You don't have anything inside. It's just an empty. Now, if I should set instance variables into these objects, then I should call setData method on every object. Suppose we have 2 methods of setData. Okay, sorry, we have 2 methods, one setData and one getData. Now, for each object, if I should set data, every object should call this setData method. Means now I should call setData on this, and I should call setData on this, and I should call setData on this. Got it right? Similarly, if I want the data from every object, I should call getData from first object. On car1 reference, if you call getData, it prints which one? This object details, car1 details. So similarly, we should call getData on even car1 Again, we have to call it on car2, and I should call this on car3. Yes, on the reference of each object. Now, get data, it's fine, but if you should set data to this each object, we must first call set data method. Got it right? If I should set data for each object, what should I do? I should call set data. Otherwise, if you call get data directly, you get an error. Got it right? So how do I call car1 dot set data? Means when I call set data on car1, only car1 object is initialized. Again, similarly, one more time on car2, one more time on car3. Okay, save it. So now after that again, car1 dot get data. This will get only data from car1 object. One more time on car2, one more time on car3. Okay, got it? Now let's run it. When we run this, when this set data is called, now data is set to the, can you see enter name, something like ABC. I'm just giving you quickly. I'm giving data. Okay, enter. So the problem is I should make a small change to the this one. Enter name, enter color. The second one is let me rerun the code one more time. Enter name, something like this. Enter color, some right. Enter price, something. Okay. Now again it is asking for second object. Color, some blue, some price. Okay, something. Again, it's asking to enter data for third object. You can make it more, the input more readable by adding some print statements. Okay, you can also do that. It's up to you. How beautiful your code you want and how readable your input statement should be. That it's all up to you. Got it right? So some CCC and then some, okay, uh, something like black, okay, and some other price. Okay, the name is not defined. Okay, let me just check the code. Somewhere I missed something. Okay, here can you see this now? I should say self dot name. Okay, and then self dot color, and then self dot this thing. Okay, that's the mistake. What's the mistake I have done is that. So that's how you have to give inputs. Got it right? Now when I call set, this is again calling. So I'm just giving you random values. Okay, quickly, just to move out quickly. Okay, then this time we got three objects with three different details of car. Got it right? Now what happens in object here when you call set data? At that time, those variables are created in these objects. Till then, variables doesn't exist inside these objects of Python. There is a difference between this object process in Python and other language. Are you following, guys? Are you following? I'm not hearing anything from you. Yes, no. Please don't ask. Shut up. Tell me something here. Okay. So that's all about it. Okay. Now when I call set data, then those variables are created in each object, something like some name. Okay. That color. Now these are created in this, that price. And that data is set to this. Name means something like, I just put it some random data, right? Something like this, price something. Again, similar data will be stored here. Some other data here, some other data here, like that. Got it? So that's how, multiple objects are created and data is stored in them. And then here, if you look at it, every object has its own instance variables, but throughout this program, you have one copy of set data, one copy of get data, and that one copy will provide service to all objects. When you call on car 1, it provides service to car 1. When you call on car 2, it's like a method is like something like, no, if you go to a five-star hotel, it's like, that boy, a server in that hotel. Got it right? You can, server means what? He is going to service for a number of customers there. Anyone from any room can call this service boy. Methods are like that. Okay. And you know that one service boy might service 10 clients there in a five-star hotel or any other hotel. Got it right? That's the point of this one. Understood now? So, but actually what we are doing in the code is we are trying to input from keyboard, but this approach is something not happens in a real scenario. Don't think this happens all the time. This won't happen most of the time. More than this, there is something called parameter passing. Parameter passing is the most often happening scenario. So you should pass values through through method, and then we should set it to instance variables. That is the best approach. Got it right? I taught you parameter passing in methods. All of you know that. Most of you are there in both Scala and even you are there in Scala sessions as well. Okay. So when we have done the parameter passing in classes in Scala, even in constructors of Scala as well. If you are not part of that, don't worry. You can do it now. But I know majority of you are there in Scala sessions, except one or two guys. Okay. Probably Satish and Sanjeev. Right. So let's test the parameter passing now. How do you pass parameters? How do you declare variables to these instance methods? After self, just comma, put comma and then just pass whatever the variables you want. And then you can directly initialize them to the instance variables like this. Got it right? Okay, same program, this one. Rewrite this program with parameter passing. Okay, will you test it? We have a bit of a deeper understanding like how objects are created, how many copies of objects exist, how many copies of instance variables exist. Is this instance variables same for all objects or every object has its own instance variables? How many copies of methods are available? It's like just one method shared by all objects. Instance variables are not shared. Every object has a separate copy of instance variables. You got it right? I have very beautiful examples running in my mind, but still, anyhow, let's continue with some professional examples, okay? More than unprofessional examples. Is it clear to you, right? That's it, guys. Test it now. Rewrite the same program with the parameter passing. If you want to see and test it, or if you want to try it yourself, you can try. Because all right now we have already discussed the parameter passing and all the stuff. How to declare methods, instance methods, and here in instance methods, how to make it parameterized means just after self put whatever the parameters you want, then use them in the method. That's all. So it's not something too difficult here. Don't think it's something different here. Okay. So once tested, just tell me, sir, so that I will also test once, and then we'll move to the next discussion. Probably we'll move to the next topic, that is these are all conceptual, sir. Got it? So if you want to deal with some logic part, we can do it. If you wish, we can try with some kind of this thing as well, if you wish. We can also pass some collections to these methods, and you can plan with them. You can do some kind of you can play with them. Okay, I'll give a small use case. Let's interesting use case. After this, we'll try that. Then we'll switch to the classes and objects. Will you agree? If not in it, you can use any method, sir. Method names can be, it's up to you. It's your choice. Is it completed, sir? All of you? Yes, no? Somebody confirm? Okay, I'll give a small task to all of you. An interesting task. Let me see how far you can do that. Before, I'll just show you how to do this now. So first rewrite. Let me rewrite this program for parameter passing. This one. So here I don't want to go for direct input functions. See, this is all happens at Amirpet level. Okay. No, right? What is Amirpet thing? As a professional, you don't do all this. In most of the cases, might be even if you are using, that might be very rare. Like using scan functions and print functions. So name comma color comma. Okay. I'll give a couple of tasks to you how we can play with objects. Okay, that gives more idea to you. With linking that to collections, because you can look into any JD. Okay, I'll talk about it once I finish this. So declare three variables like this with this method, three parameters to the method to initialize three instance variables. You can ask me, sir, do you have same names for this method parameters and instance variables? That is a standard approach. That's a standard way. Having same name for instance variables and parameters of the same method, which are used to initialize instance variables. Both will be same. That's the standard approach. And to differentiate, we have self. With whichever the variable self is there, that is a instance. And the right side variable is always local. We can also we can also call them as local. We don't have any issue with that. Okay, right? That's all. We are done. And one quick thing I have to do is I have to initialize this. This is a parameterized method. When I'm calling this method, I should pass three values to this method. Self is an implicit variable. You don't need to pass anything for that. By default, it holds the address of current object, this car object. Okay, you don't need to worry too much about that self. Okay, if you print self, it gives the address, the same address which car one is holding at that particular time. Suppose if you switch to car 2 address is available in self. If you are using car 3 address is available in self. Like that, it works like that. Okay, you don't need to worry too much about it. Now, I'm just giving you some passing some data, something like name, comma, something like color, and then okay, comma some price here. Okay. Similarly, you can do the same for remaining two methods. You might have different data here. Okay, need not to be same. Sorry. Okay, color might be same or different. It's up to you. Something like this. Okay. Just run it. You get a different data sets. Got it right? That's how this works, sir. Parameter passing. Hope this is clear for all of you. Let us do one more program. I want to link this with the collections. How can we correlate the concept of classes and objects to collections? Let's do that. So a small problem for you, a small use case like how we can play with the collection. Suppose after setting data to this, okay, to this car and to this car 1, car 2, car 3, or you can take few more objects. I don't have issue on that. What I want is the requirement is take this, write a program. It's a bit interesting example as well. Write a program. So to create multiple, at least some 5 or 3 objects is fine. Testing for testing 3 objects and store it in a store all objects in a list. Okay, that is requirement 1. requirement to iterate each list. Okay, and because already we have done collections, that's why I'm giving this problem. And display an object. Okay, display an object. So we have, what is that, car name, car color, and car price, right? If you have some even some number is unique, something like that. That's better. You take car number also. Car number should be unique. Don't repeat car number. Don't do that. Have a car number as well. Stuff car price. Okay, make this as a C number. This C number should be unique. It should not be same for any car. Okay, make this as a car number. I'm just giving a small idea. Make this as a car number. And here give some unique numbers. Don't use. This is not float now. This is something. What is it? Integer. Car number one, car number two, car number three, like this. Now all these three records will be stored into that objects, car one, car two, car three. But among these three records, I don't want all three at a time. What I need is, the problem is this. Once you store them, iterate each object. Okay, iterate list and display an object taking input as a, okay. I don't need all the objects. You just need to ask input for user, like enter a car number. Based on that number, if user enters 1, then you should just give only car 1 details. If user enters 2, you should give car 2 details, like that. Okay, and display car details for taking input as car number. Okay, for whichever the car, user is expected. So that's what. Suppose I want car 1, then you should give car 1 details. Even though you can iterate and display all the car details, all the objects. Okay. Try this now. Can you do this now? It's something interesting use case. Try this. Sometimes we pass collections to methods, and then we do some kind of internal process. Even we do that also. But now I want you to do this now. Let me see how you can add objects to list. That is one thing. Then how you iterate it, how you ask user to input, and how you display the details. Let me see that. It's not something difficult program, but I just want to see how you are going to solve it. Do it now. guys, I'm giving the solution. What I need is a continuation to this code. I want all these objects to be added to a list. That is first task one. Already we have objects here. We set with data, and so what I need is adding objects to list. You can also add to map as well, because every object has unique address. Car1 is different from car2. Car2 has different address as car3. So you don't have the same address for any two objects. Okay. So now let me just do that. Let's create a list like this. Something like car list equal to, directly I can say car1, car2, car3. You can add objects like this, guys. You know that? Just to show you that thing, this is what I have asked you. I don't think this is difficult, right? Is there any problem in that? So this is task one. Task two, iterate every object. Iterate that list. Iterate list. And input, ask user to enter some car number. Okay. And based on that number, what I want is suppose if I might have three cars. I might have three cars. But in that car, the data. The car data is this. You have something like this one, 2, 3, and something like this. The data here, it's clearly visible. If I enter 1, I should get this record. If I enter 2, I should get second record. If I enter 3, I should get third record, like that. You got this point, right? So iterate list and get the car details. Okay, how do I get it? Based on car number. Now I am iterating it for car in car list colon. Now what should I do now? I should get that car data. Right? This car is reference, and this car list has what it has it has list of car objects, or we can assume this as car references. These references are nothing but they are pointing to these three objects here. If you look at this car one, just to show you, car 2, car 3. Okay, here the issue is with this. Let me comment it for a minute. Okay. Can you see here now? None of these objects are same. I have three. Every object is different from the other one. So because objects are unique, actually, that is one thing you have to keep in mind. If I print car list, all that objects are stored into this list. No, even list is not just used to store only integers or strings or like that. It is used to store any type of data. That's what list is. It can hold any kind of collections. Okay. Understood now? Now I'll run for one more time just to show you that as well. Can you see here now? I have three objects in the list now. Okay. Now after that, I'm iterating this car list, and I should check. I should ask user to input for car number. So what should I do now? Some C number equal to, right? You can directly input, and then enter car number. And the car number is. I am not sure if I have declared it as integer here. Let me check it. No, it's not an integer. Still, it's what is it? Yeah, perfect. Sorry. That's an integer only. No issues. It's an integer because I didn't put any quotes. It is treated as in, no issues. Then I should apply casting to this input function. It has to be converted to int here because car number is int, and we are searching for that car number which is present in each object. So if I should do that, this data has to be converted to the integer. Why? Because the value in that object, right here, if you look at it, the object part, this number, it's not price actually, car number, it's an integer. So even when you try to input from user, it has to be converted to integer. Then you have to compare that with car object. How do I compare? Like this: if uh, car dot car number equal to c number, means what I am doing here, I am comparing with the car number present inside car. This one, assume that this is a car number here instead of price. Take it as car number. Okay, I'm trying to get car number from car object, and then I'm comparing with the input. This is just what input is this? This is actually the test input. Okay, to see to compare with the car number in the car object. This is a test input for me. I'm comparing with that. If whatever the car number I enter in the this iterator, if it is matching with the car number in the car object, then that the details of that car has to be displayed. Then how do I do? Print of c number dot name, and then similarly c number dot color, and finally c number dot another one is c number. I'm sorry, car dot, you have to use reference, don't use that. Car dot c number. This is what I asked you. If you look at it, there is nothing here in this code. It's a simple matter of few lines of code. That is the task I have asked you. But if you understand the problem, it's easy to solve it. It's all about getting some idea about the problem. Now it's waiting here. Can you see here now? Now I have assigned all the objects to the list, and this is waiting here. It's asking me to enter car number. I give 1. Okay. Somewhere, okay, this is my problem. Here I put 0. I should use O here. That's the issue. No problem. It will work. We are perfect. I asked you this. Enter car number 1. Again, it's asking for one more. So if I enter 1, that is not there. If I enter 2, that is not there. Actually, if I just ask only for 1, it should stop after that. Again, I don't want to continue, like, so means once after I get that details, you should break that. Okay, let me run it and see. This time we should get a perfect output. Got it right? Because it is iterating, it is checking in every following, right? So the second object has the details. So I got second details from car 2. Do you understand this? Do you get this, all of you? Understood, or anybody has doubts on this? Still we can tune this code. Okay. But is it clear now? This is what I am expecting from you. Understood? Is it clear for all of you, sir? Nobody is giving me any answer here. Yes, no. Got some idea, like how we can store objects to list, and then how can we iterate it, and still we can tune this. Actually, this output is not 100% tuned output. because when I enter 1, it should check with whichever the object is matching with 1, that and that only that object details has to be displayed. Again, it should not go for it should not ask me this. I enter 1, suppose I enter 3. We know in our case 3 is there in third object. You can see the the car details displayed here. And when I enter 3, I should get direct details from the 3 itself. Again, it should not ask me for enter one more time, enter one more time, and the third time it is giving me. Even this is not correct. When I enter 3, I should get straight away the third object details, or the object which has 3 as the car number, those details has to be displayed. I should not get these many times. How do I do that? How do I do? I can. We should tune this code. How can we tune it? How can we tune it, sir? You can take a small flag. Okay, flag equal to some false, set it to false. Then what is that? If it is true, don't print here. Don't try to print. Okay. More than that, I think it's better. It's more or like I'm doing a linear search here. It's not like I'm going for some, what is that? It's a kind of linear search. So if it is linear search, we can directly set like this, flag equal to true, somewhere like this. Now come out of this, completely come out of this loop now. If also we need that particular which one, reference also, right? Also we need that reference, yes. Mhm. Should do something here. What do we do? Stuff this, otherwise directly set it to some reference. Copy the reference, put break. It is local, then it's a problem. Okay, I'll check it. Let's first of all, we don't need those many times. Print off. Color. I'm not sure because this is a local. Let me run it, and if any error throws, then I'll do the different initialization. I'm giving 2. Okay, I got it. The issue. So this iterator keeps iterating. Okay. So when it keep iterating, definitely it will ask you to enter a number of times. The other way for this is like,
Sir, can we keep the enter number outside and then loop until we find that number?
Yeah, I'm just thinking. Correct. As we are going for linear search, that is also a best option. You are expecting for only one time, right?
Yeah.
That's yeah, perfect. That's what I am looking. But
Okay.
actually, as I'm thinking inside loop, you know. Anyhow, thank you. Thanks for the for the input. Correct. This time
Okay.
definitely we will be successful. It won't ask us. That is what I want to avoid, because linear search means we enter for one time and it has to take care of that remaining things. Okay. If that is the case, then it won't ask input for every time, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we can do the previous one itself, because I want to avoid that. Those many times I don't want. As you kept inside loop, that is the issue. Even false is not required. The other logic is fine. Okay, this is fine, no issues for us. But you can stop like break. That is good for us. Control X
Yes.
on top. Yeah. So now you can directly say car number is we're coming from here. Then this should be perfect. Yep, that's what I'm expecting. Yeah, thanks for that input. Who is that? May I know? I didn't.
Naresh, sir.
Thank you.
No
Thank you,
problem.
Naresh. So that's it. This is what I expect from you. Got it right? This is linear search. We'll do one more use case, like how to play with collections. Suppose try this one more use case so that you get an idea like how we can use collections with OOP. Okay, something like this. This time don't try to list, but you have three objects. So add all three objects to a map, to a dictionary otherwise. Right? The reference is unique. The key should be reference, and value. What should be value? Value should be object. Okay, you got it right. That's how you have to add all the three objects to the map now. So how you do that is you can do it. It's up to you. Okay, try it now. And you can have unique keys, and every key should point to one object. That's what you should do. Then iterate that map, that dictionary, and then try to get the details. Even we can use the dictionary can be used like this as well. It's not just used to store only value types. It can be used to store even the reference types like this. Reference means like user defined objects. No, these are all user defined guys. What is that? This car, this person, this customer. Okay, all these are user defined objects. These are called reference types technically. Can you try this now? Now you display them. Just you do one thing, add to object and try to iterate that dictionary and print me the details of each card details. I was telling something, sometime back, if you look at any, this Python JD job descriptions, they will exclusively mention hands-on experience, thorough experience with collections. Got it right? You should play with collections. That's how it has to be. Hope these examples are a bit interesting, or am I actually giving you? Are these problems useful? Usually in Python sessions, you go and check, sir. It's not like an exaggeration. You can go and check in most of the online tutorials. They just only talk about concept. They don't take different concepts and try to mix them and come up with you know better way of understanding things. How you apply that in a problem is very important. Now, like how many concepts you learned is not important. Is it done? See, you are going to continue, not you don't need to do the whole program. Continue from here onwards, okay? Once after you do this printing, just see how you can create a dictionary and add all these objects to dictionary and iterate it and then again extract data like that. This time I didn't apply any condition. No issues, Naresh, not a problem. They're all for your practice only. So you can try it whenever you are comfortable, no issues with that. So guys, if possible, okay, please share this YouTube link with your friends. The sessions are really useful. No, I am getting good feedback from the students. But only thing is many people don't know about our channel. So, and trust me, you have really useful sessions there. And they are actually, if somebody is really wish to do something really good in the real time environment, this session is definitely useful. So I request you, or no, I that's ask you to share this with your friends. Got it? And also ask them, soon we are planning for data science sessions. So if you are interested, you can continue with the data science as well. And there are even free sessions. Probably will plan the weekend. Okay. Or probably weekday as well. Otherwise, it depends. I'm not sure. I'll give the schedule of that little later. Done now? I'll just show you how to do that program, that one program, so that we can close today's session. We have a good practice, I hope, today. We have seen like the how we can mix that which one? Let me take the copy this program, because later on I don't remember the problems. Okay. Next one. How to add it to the dictionary? Let us do it. It's a simple process. Just create one dictionary, empty dictionary. All of you know how to do that. Okay. Now car dictionary equal to some empty one. Car dict of car one equal to car one. That is one thing. You can give some other key names if you wish. Okay. Car 2, car 3. Car 2, car 3. Reference name can be different, sir. Nothing to worry about it. Okay. So it's up to you. Okay. Or otherwise, you can give it as a string. Of course, it will expect a string. This time, I hope this will work. Let me print and see. Because already we have defined car at the top of this, at the beginning of this. You can see here, right? But we don't need a, you can see here, the reference is object and value is object. We don't need value. We don't need that. Value should be object. Reference need not to be object. Just give some name to that. So like this. maybe better make it let me tune it a bit. I don't need my reference to be object again, because value object, it's fine. Now this should be fine for me. Got it, right? This is how it should be. This is more meaningful. It makes some sense. The previous one, that doesn't make sense actually. Why? Because reference is just to identify the key is to identify object, not both. That key should be object. But this makes a bit of sense here. Now iterate it and just get that car details. How do you get it? For k comma v in car dict dot items. You remember this, right? Then what is that I get here? This v is actually holding the object. You can directly say, can do like this. Int of k comma v dot name. Let me try like this. We have three values, right? K comma v dot color, and the third one car number. Okay, let me try to run this. Perfect. Can you see this now? It makes some sense. The output now, even the output makes some sense for me. Got it? What do you say, sir? Are you good now? Okay. So that's about today, sir. Enough, because we have done almost for 2 hours today. Tomorrow we'll continue with tomorrow instance next week. This week, no, there is some issue with network, so I couldn't connect. And also I'm not that energetic yesterday. When I am tired actually, that is also one reason. Okay. Right. Keep practicing, and we'll continue with this. Next week I'll talk about it, and once this OOP is done, then we'll stop this sessions, and then okay, we'll take a small break from these sessions, and then we will again start data science. Okay. Any questions, sir? So please share this YouTube channel with your friends, and you also please subscribe. Only that is the only thing I can ask you guys. There's nothing else I can ask. Okay. So that is also, if possible, try that. No, sometimes we don't know who it's going to help who, and how it makes the people. We don't know how it turns them. So that's all, guys. Okay. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Srikanth. Thanks for helping me to get more subscriptions. Thank you. Bye.